Writing equations. For this set of notes, there's not really a whole lot of information to go through because you're just talking about how to write different equations into words and then vice versa, using the words to write into an equation. So I'm just going to go over the examples that I have in your notes. The very first one says to translate each sentence into equation. That's the directions. Then it says a number b divided by 3 is equal to 6 less than c. So then basically all you have to do is to take those words and to write them out as a number sentence or as an algebraic equation. So we're going to write a number b and represent that as b divided by 3. So then normally you would write divided by as the division symbol, but in algebra we no longer use a division symbol. We're going to use a fraction bar. So you say a number b divided by 3 is less than to 6. I'm sorry, is equal to 6 less than c. So is equal to 6 less than c. So that means you have c and 6 is less than that. 6 less than c. Those are the trickiest parts, just that wording in the very first one. So I went ahead and knocked that one out. That's the trickiest wording that most students get wrong whenever they read that. They want to write it the other way, but you can't. Okay, because then you'll get a different answer. Because as you learned earlier, subtraction is not commutative and we can't just switch the numbers and variables around to whatever order we want to. Okay, so this is the answer to the first example. The next one says 15 more than z times 6 is y times 2 minus 11. So not difficult like the first one. 15 more than z. Addition is commutative, so with addition, we can write it either way. 15 more than z. That tells me I had z first, and then I'm going to have 15 more than that. 15 more than z times 6. So then we're going to multiply that by 6. Now in algebra, we don't like to use the point. We really like to use parentheses instead, but for this purpose, the point or the dot is fine for multiplication. Then we have is, which is our equal sign, y times 2 minus 11. So when we write y times 2, we always put our number first. And then our minus 11 on the end. So that's the answer for the second. The next set of directions says different. It says to translate the sentence into a formula. So for that, you're given a sentence just like we were before, except for this time it's going to make an actual formula that we'll use in math and algebra and geometry later on. So the next one says the perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of the side. So perimeter we always represent by the letter P. So we have the perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of the side. Well, side is usually represented by the letter S. So we're going to say 4 times S to represent 4 times the length of the side. And that's our formula. The last two examples want you to do the exact opposite of what we just did with these three. It wants you to take an algebraic expression or sentence, and it wants you to change it into words. So then you should be able to take what we just did, reverse it, for the last two examples. The last two say 12 minus 2x equals negative 5. So you should be able to word that into some way to make it fit some type of sentence like we just went over. And the last one says a squared plus 3b equals c divided by 6. Using your vocabulary of what each operation means, what each word means for each operation, you should again be able to figure out a sentence and write that out for the last example.